Nagasaki, on the western coast of Japan's island of Kyushu, was one of the two cities bombed in World War II. I'm here in Nagasaki at the Nagasaki National Peace Memorial Hall for the atomic bomb victims. This huge basin, it says here, is 29 meters in diameter, designed for the great number of people who crave water after experiencing the atomic bombing. It says, please walk all the way around it, proceeding counterclockwise, in order to calm your mind before entering the hall. Just come down the elevator from where we saw that fountain. We're now underground inside the entrance to the museum. Let's check it out. Okay, this is the entrance. It opens out into this big view onto a waterfall. This is part of the passage to the Remembrance Hall. So from the Memorial Hall, you can actually take a direct route underground along a passageway to here, the Nagasaki Atomic Bomb Memorial Museum. The domed roof of this entrance atrium is made of glass, and from the outside this forms quite a conspicuous dome. Here's a string of 1,000 cranes by a Dutch paper folding artist. Thousands of them lined up in a huge undulating line. So I've just entered the museum. This is a picture of pre-bomb Nagasaki. It was actually a centre of Western learning in Japan from about 300 or 400 years ago. So it's somewhat ironic that it was the place which was also the centre of the most famous Western attack on Japan as well. And here we have actual footage taken from the time of the bombing itself. And another irony of history, this cathedral, the Usakamt Cathedral, was very near the epicentre of the Nagasaki bombing. And this cathedral was the biggest in Asia at the time. It had been built by Japanese Christians in 1925 and was destroyed 20 years later. So behind me here is a replica of Fat Man, the bomb which actually exploded over Nagasaki. Now we're in the final hall, which outlines the state of modern nuclear weapons. So I've just come out of the Atomic Bomb Memorial Center. Just behind it, over there you can see the red brick building. That's the Nagasaki Museum of History and Folklore. So here I am at what's called Peace Park. This is where the epicenter of the blast at ground level was actually at this height. Over here is a statue to the victims of the blast, and right at the end of the park is a plinth where the bomb actually fell. In the Memorial Hall we saw a reconstruction of Usakamt Cathedral that was destroyed by the blast. Here at the epicenter we have a portion of that cathedral, the sole remaining part after the blast, that was brought here to the epicenter, and which along with the plinth over here is a reminder of the horror of that day. Right beside the memorial, just a few meters away here, is part of Shotokuji Temple, which was about the same distance from the blast as the cathedral was. So this is what remains of Shotokuji Temple, and it too is here to commemorate the almost 74,000 people who were killed in the blast. I've just climbed the stairs. I've come to the Peace Fountain. You can see the shape of the jets of water are purposely to represent the wings of a dove. Right behind me we have what is probably one of the most famous memorials to the victims of Nagasaki, the Peace Statue, built in 1955. 10 years after the tragedy. I've just come out of Peace Park from just behind where the statue is, and in the distance you can see the present day Usakamt Cathedral, which is the site where the original was built. So here I am in front of Usakamt Cathedral. The church is right behind me, and just over here we have a little corner of the original church which suffered the destruction of the atomic bomb, as you can see. In 1597, the shogun of the day crucified 26 Japanese Christians on this site, and this is the site of their martyrdom. I'm standing outside Sofukuji Temple, which is a Chinese temple built by the Chinese community in Nagasaki, which is very old here, in 1629, and is renowned as a wonderful example of Ming architecture. Here I am in front of Oda Church, which is the oldest Christian church in Japan. This is not actually a working church anymore, it's just a tourist attraction, which means you have to pay to get in. Here I am at the gate of Glover Gardens. This is actually a settlement where lots of foreigners were made to live during the Meiji era of Japanese history. A lot of the houses inside were actually moved from other parts of Nagasaki to here. And from here you get a wonderful panorama over the whole of Nagasaki, over the port, the hills surrounding it, the city centre down here. It's a beautiful city, it's got a lovely silhouette. A lot of history which was sadly obliterated, but a lot of it has been brought back to life. Here we are on what's called Holland slope, and this has a lot of old Western style houses from pre-modern Japan. This elegant old place has been turned very attractively into a cafe. In the distance, just beyond the Western style houses, is the Chinese Confucian Museum. Nagasaki is a great place to get around because of the trams. They've got a great tram system. You pay 500 yen per day and you can get off and on as many trams as you like and travel as far as you like, wherever you like, whenever you like.